use this? Can you use this? It makes me a huge nerd. You know, one person had the flashlight, and they would, you know, do the Hogan's Heroes search tower thing, and you had to get from point A to point B without getting hit by the light. Not quite Ghost in the Graveyard, but it was, you know, a good game at dusk.
Did you enjoy growing up in a small town?
I did. I liked growing up in Litchfield. I thought it was, well, I don't have much to compare it to because I only lived in small towns as a kid, but I liked it. Today we would be called free-range children. We were allowed to, you know, be out and play in the neighborhood, and had to be home when the street lights were on. That was the signal to be home. But as we got, and I started young, and as we got older, you know, our radius increased till we could, you know, go around town. And then, of course, when we were teenagers, we could drive. But when we were on foot or by bike, it was the certain radius, and then be home by streetlights.
What was your favorite part of growing up in Litchfield, and what was your least favorite?
I think being around family, because not only our family was there, but the grandparents and lots of cousins, and then Dad's family was within hours away, and lots of cousins. So just being close to family, I think that's the best part of that part of my life, is being surrounded by family and having lots of fun and people to do stuff with. Least favorite? I don't know, looking back now, access to things that I probably would have wanted to do, like, you know, maybe music lessons and more access to theater or acting skills, just because that's where I ended up in my career, is doing those things. And if I had started earlier, maybe I would be different space. Although ultimately I ended up where I'm supposed to be. So.
Do you have like any good stories about growing up in small town America?
Oh man, you know my memory is so bad. But a couple of things. Snow days. Our friend, the Dees family, Tim was the dad, and John and Chris were the kids. He would tie a sled to the back of his pickup truck and then drive around the neighborhood, and it'd be like tubing behind a speedboat, but it was, you know, a truck and snow and streets. But in a small town on a snow day, there's not many cars out, so you know that you you can't do that today. But that's a fun memory. Of course, being in the town with a lake, all the summer activities of being on the boat and the beach and the pool, and those things are always great memories. Riding bikes across town and hanging out with friends.
Did you or do you ever regret moving so far away from Litchfield?
Sometimes, not very often, but especially in times of need. Like I can't be as helpful with Mom as she gets older, and I can't be my access if there's an emergency. It takes 3 hours at minimum to get there, and so that would be the only major thing is when I'm needed there, it takes time. But I like where I'm at. I like where I'm at, and I like what I'm doing, and I think I'm where I'm supposed to be and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So, can't regret that. We made it. We got it. Yeah. Like Miss, I was in Wisconsin, but as Miss Butera said. Amen. Have a great show.
You grew up like pretty Catholic, and like your mom is still very religious. Did faith have any impact on your wanting to move away, or?
No, faith has always just been a part of what we do in my life. You know, so I've always been a member of a religion, whether I'm fully believe in the ism that I'm in or not. It's a matter of it's just part of my upbringing and part of who we are. It's how we get shaped when we're young. Working at a Catholic school, obviously, surrounded by faith is still a big part of my life. But I don't. It's not anything that drove me away. If anything, it maybe calls me back or it grounds me.
So like, remember maybe over this past summer when we went to Denny's and you saw the like dudes with like the same haircut and you're like, oh my god, that could have been me.
Yeah.
Are there like other things that you notice when we go back for visits where you're like, oh my god, that could have been my life?
It is interesting that people tend to, to homogenize, for lack of a better word, when you look around and you're like, everybody kind of has the same look, lifestyle, general mannerisms. And that's part of it being in the community, I think, but it's also geographical. I don't know. I don't want to sound too northern. I don't want to sound too northern. But yeah, I noticed those things. We live in a place where there's just a ton of diversity, and there just isn't as much in a small town.
I think that's everything then.
I'm not so much anti-small town.
I know.
Okay.
I don't want you to be. I'm just curious.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wanted to. I don't know. It popped into my head because I have a bad memory.
Okay, then I'm gonna cut.
Okay.
Okay.